Yo guys, what's up? And girls of course as well, I'm sorry to leave you out right there. But what's up? I'm bringing you the Parasens versus the Cambuur Zygarden, which is the week 4 game of GPC Season 3. And as you can see, there's the matchup right in front of you. It's the Parasens with the Mortar, with the Pangoro, with the Mega Manectric, the Gudra, the Shaman, and the Slowbro. I have a team consists of Raichu, Murkrow, Troll, Manaphy, Skarmory, and Venusaur. If you want to see the specific sets, I will leave you a link in the description down below to check out the team analysis and the team builder on my end. So feel free to check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, the first thing I noticed on this team, he is not bringing Stealth Rocks. He has no Aerodactyl, no Kabutops to set up Stealth Rocks, which helps you out quite a bit actually. Also, he does not have Togekiss, meaning that a throw could disrupt his whole team massively. So yeah, oh, that's not one, never mind. So yeah, that's basically the first thought I had in my mind, and I was like, okay, throw is a potential win condition that way. So we'll see how I play this out. I'm expecting him to predict me to lead up with Skarmory. Yes, Skarmory is my Stealth Rocker. Should be pretty obvious since it's my only one. So I'm predicting him to either lead with Mega Manectric, or worst case scenario, he's going to lead with Mortar. And as you can see, he does lead with Mega Manectric, so I am easily able to get off my Mega Evolution by leading off with Venusaur, getting my Tickfoot up straight up, and his Volt Switch doesn't do too much. So yeah, I'm at a good amount of health. I can predict the switch, or even if he stays in, I can just Toxic something, because he's not going to switch in a Shaman on a Venusaur. So I Toxic the McMortar. Unfortunately for him, he missed the Fire Blast as I sense this up. I didn't expect to outspeed him, but apparently I do, as it turns out to be max HP Assault Vest. So Fire Blast misses, that's unfortunate. I can just Sludge Bomb him. It does a good amount of damage, around the 3 hit KO, so just a little bit less, as he just fires us Psychics. At this point, I didn't want to risk the roll knocking him out, or not knocking him out. I didn't know if it's like 30% or 31%, so I figured another Synthesis would be the best play. Or if anything, maybe he predicted me to switch out into Murkrow and would go for Fire Blast and potentially missed, or would have done a little bit less damage. So here I misclick and I go for the Synthesis again instead of Sludge Bombing, because I wanted to Sludge Bomb, but I was talking what kind of set he was, and accidentally misclicked when I turned back onto the tab of the Showdown tab. So I wanna preserve Mega Venusaur because I think Mega Venusaur is still a great value to the team, as I do if I am able to heal up against stuff like Slowbro, against Gudra unless he is Scarfed or wins a Speed High, against Pangoro unless he is Scarfed too. So I want to preserve it, and I feel that I can. So I switch out in Throw because Throw is a special will. As he switches out his Pangoro, and I don't know what kind of move he's gonna go for, but I know that Skarmory is a counter to it. I'm max physical defensive Skarmory, so even a Banded Pangoro doesn't 2-hit KO me, as his best move to hit me up is Superpower. And as you can see, Superpower is not a 2-hit KO because of the attack drop. So I'm able to rust off the damage. I gotten some damage on him by the leftovers, but that doesn't come into play, as you will see by the Rocky Helmet to me. Don't worry, it's leftovers. Anyway, he goes for the Substitute, which is a good play because he probably predicted me to sack off Venusaur right there. So he would have gotten behind the sub and be able to switch and be able to kill Venusaur. But I figured that Raichu is a nice safe switch in, obviously predicting the T-Bolt or Volt Switch. Volt Switch is more reasonable, of course. Or if he doesn't want to go for either of those moves, then I should probably still be fine. Because yeah, he doesn't have Hidden Power Ground, but I didn't think he would run because I have a Rhyperior. So for that he would want to go Hidden Power Grass or Hidden Power Water. Or if anything, he wants to hit my Mega Venusaur with something like Psychic or Flying, so yeah. So Raichu seems the best switch, as I go for a knockoff, and he switches in Shaman. Unfortunately for him, I get a crit, which does come into play a little bit, as because he's leftovers, because I knocked up left, I know he's basically not an offensive Shaman. And that means that Murkrow is the safest switch ever into this Shaman. As you can see, Seedflow does nothing. He doesn't get the Spadef drop, so that's really nice. As this was actually a miss by my end. I knew for a fact that he wouldn't stay in. So I should have doubled out into whatever. Basically, the best thing I had to switch out into was Raichu, because Raichu threatens his whole team. but I figured that if anything he would want to go into Mega Man Electric or into Slowbro. So I didn't know that Raichu was the best player or not, but I decided to stay in and just scout for what he was going to go for and hopefully get some chip damage and something, but that wasn't my best play in the end. Here I switch out to Throw because I know that he's going to go for a Scald or for an Ice Beam, and I think Throw is the best mod to take it because obviously you have the rest Sleep Talk set and I'm especially defensive. Here I make another double switch, scouting for the Psychic move and also predicting him to possibly predict the knockoff and go into Pangoro or go into something like Good Drive to take the hit. As he does go into Pangoro, as I go into Skarmory, make the double switch into Skarmory. Knowing from that, basically I was at 90% or something, 95%, so I knew for a fact that I was able to lift the hit, the one superpower and the following superpower. So I figured he wouldn't stay in, as I could live both and just heal up, but yeah, that's why I went for the Stealth Rocks, because I wanted chip damage to slowly whittle his team down. Unfortunately for me, he gets the crit, and this is where the bad things happen, as the crit knocks me down into a 2-hit KO, as I'm not living 7%, and Skarmory is the only thing that I can really heal up on is the Slowbro, which I don't want to stay in on because I cannot beat it. I can Toxic it at best, but yeah. So unfortunately I have to sack Skarmory right here, as my switch into superpower would be Mega Venusaur, but that's obviously not the switch in right here because my Mega Venusaur is at like 7%, so yeah. Unfortunately I lose my Skarmory through Hex, so that's really big because Skarmory did well against the remainder of his team, except for Slowbro and Manectric, because as you will see in a bit, his Good Red turns out to be Bandit, so it would be the perfect counter to that. Even though he has Fire Blast, he would have for one had to predict me, and also Fire Blast doesn't do that much to Skarmory actually, so yeah. I switched in Raichu. I had two options. One was Venusaur and heal up, because I think that would have been a nice play, as he might have not expected me to be outspeeding him if he was like a max speed Pangoro. I don't know exactly what I think he was like max speed though, not sure. But I decided to go into Raichu, because Raichu doesn't have any switch-ins at this point. His best switch-in would be Gudra, but I want to weaken Gudra so my Manaphy can sweep. That was the whole idea behind me full tackling here. As you can see, his Shaman is not able to lift two full tackles. And that's where the crit from the knockoff comes into play a little bit. Don't know if I would have been able to do it KO if I didn't crit, but yeah. Anyway, he switches into Gudra right here, and that means I have to switch out because one hit from Raichu does not do enough damage to Gudra, where I can just deal with him nicely. So I have to pick a sack, and because both of his threatening special attackers are gone, being Shaman and McMortar, those were the things Murkrow was able to check slash counter on his team. So I decided to sack off Murkrow because I didn't think I needed the T-Wave, because I had speed everything on his team except for the Mega Manectric, which unfortunately is able to soak up the T-Wave anyway. So Murkrow was a nice sack on my end, I think. As now I can switch in my Raichu again and can go for a knockoff, as he is locked into the Outrage. Unfortunately he knocks me out, but in this that doesn't really matter too much, because at this point I weakened him to the point where my Manaphy with after Tilko can just knock him out straight up. At this range of health I would have been able to knock out an Assault Fist 1, which I expected him to be, but as it turns out to be Bandit. But yeah, what I wanted to say, yeah, Mega Venusaur is now a switch in for me, because the worst possible scenario is I lose a speed die, but it turns out he is not max speed Jolly, as you can see, as or would have lost all speed dice, which doesn't seem the most likely. Unfortunately for me, he gets another crit, which puts me in a bad spot, and yeah, as you can see, I would have been able to lift the hit regardless. I would have been able to heal up from his moves, because it does 51%. I was at 57. I was at 7%, so 57% of the synthesis, and he was. It was just a matter of time before he was hitting himself in confusion. So I would have been able to heal up to full, more than likely. But unfortunately, he crits me again, and that's pretty outrageous actually. Remember when I misclicked and instead of Sludge Bomb the McMortar I clicked Synthesis? Well, that comes into play right here, because I would have been able to win with Mega Venusaur at this point. Turns out his Slowbro does not carry Psychic move, it carries the Fire Blast, it carries the Ice Beam, the Scald, and the Slack Off, and it was max physical defense. So I would have been able to outstall that by Sledge Bombing or by Toxicking it and Synthesizing up. The Magnetic is unable to touch me. If he does stuff something like Hidden Power Flying or Hidden Power of Psychic, it does 33%, 35% max I think, so yeah, I would have been able to live those hits very easily as well. I outspeed Pangoro, and at this range where it's at, I can knock it out with a Sludge Bomb. And Gudra, as you can see, is not able to beat me unless it crits me, so I would have been able to win with Mega Finisher straight off the bat. Of course, I don't know if I would have stayed in against Slowbro, I don't know how would have played that. I probably would have, because I don't have the best switch-ins to a Slowbro anyway. But yeah, unfortunately I lose my Mega Finisher, which would have been able to win, and I would have gotten a 3-0 victory. But yeah, that's not what's happening. So I go into my next best thing, being Throw, as he is locked into Outright and he's confused, so I figured that I can just set up bulk ups and just sweep his team that way. So he gets hit on Confusion, doesn't matter because I go for the rest after this one anyway, and as you can see he would have not been able to 2-hit KO me. So I go for the rest. This is a misplay on my end, because because it's not a 3-hit KO on his end, I probably should have just let myself like gotten Sleep Talk, not went for Sleep Talk, but just for the sleep, like where I just not click a move, basically. Just let the sleep turns run out, I guess that's the way to phrase it. But yeah, that would have meant that this was set up for me. Unfortunately, that's not what I do, because I click the Sleep Talk and I get in my opinion, the worst move possible, because at this point I am risking getting 2-hit KO'd by Pangoro, as Pangoro's superpower is a 2-hit KO from that range, I think. I'm actually not sure. I will maybe leave a clock somewhere on the screen or in the description to prove that. But yeah, I do leave myself in range of Pangoro to 2-hit KO me, I feel. So not the best play, but I still think I'm able to win if I get a bulk up or a Sleep Talk right here. So we'll see if I can get that. I cannot, because he crits me again with a Drain Punch. And this is really frustrating, because I lost 2 of my win conditions to a crit. Both of them would have been able to clean up the game, because this throw set is able to beat the max defense Slowbro. Maybe not one-on-one, I don't know if I can beat it one-on-one, but I would have been able to switch in Menifee, and Menifee would have won one-on-one. So, and I would have been able to just keep willing him out into Manectric or into this guy, Pangoro, and would have been able to kill those very easily. So he would have been able to just have the Slowbro left, and that I could beat with Menifee very easily. Unfortunately for me, I get crit, so that plan just doesn't work out either. As now he's locked into Drain Punch, the only way for me to win is by Menifee getting a Tail Glow off and either OHKOing this Pangoro, and then being able to live more hits and stuff, and yeah. But I need to get them select by the range, because otherwise I don't outspeed his Manectric. So I'll go for the Tail Glow. As you can see, he does 60% is. The roll was 53 to 63%, so he was a little bit on the high roll, but not too bad. What I should have done here, because I make a misplay again, I go for the Substitute. Basically forgetting that I'm not max special attack Menifee. If I was max special attack Menifee, I would have been able to take this thing down in one hit. It was a 50-50, the roll, does 91 to 109%. But I get a high roll. I think it's at least it's high roll, unless he's like a different set than I assumed he was. But I am not max special attack, so that means that I am not able to OHKO this guy. And the play I should have gone for is the Skull Burn, because if I would have gotten the Skull Burn, I would have been put in select barrier range, and I would have been able to outspeed his Magnetic and have been able to take it down. And also his Drain Punch would have done a little bit less than 30%, so depending on the roll I would have been able to live at 12, 13 or 14%. If I would have been able to live at 13 or 40%, I would have guaranteed been able to lift the Skull from a max defense, max HP Slowbro. Of course I need to risk the Skull Burn. If I didn't get the Skull Burn, I would have been fantastic, because I would have been able to lift like 1 HP. and would have been able to 2-hit KO this slow bro if I got the burn on his slow bro. So there was a bit of luck needed to go in my favor, but looking at this game, anything happens basically, anything can happen. Unfortunately for me, I had some bad luck, but this would have been the game where the luck would have shifted in my favor, possibly. Unfortunately, I don't go for that kind of win condition because I choke-ish the game away. As I go for Scott, I get the burn, but that's too late as I just died to Drain Punch. So there were potential ways for me to win, but unfortunately I got screwed over very early on in the game. Of course he missed the Fire Blast, but that didn't really come into play. I don't think, as I outsped and just would have been able to heal off the damage. Or would have been able to switch in Murkrow, which would have taken around 50% from the Fire Blast. Of course he would have gone for Psychic, as you could see. But if he did go Fire Blast, I would have been able to roost off the damage because I had the priority roost, and I could have just been able to get back at full health continuously until he missed or PP stalled him out of Fire Blasts. So yeah, unfortunately for me, I lose this game because Karmari got crit on very early, meaning that Pangoro had a nice, easy way to just click Super Power or Drain Punch in his case. Also, the Gudra was able to just click Outrights and just weaken my team even more. And even when I still had chances left, being Mega Venusaur sweeping him just by being bulky and offensive and speedy, the whole mix, that got credit too. And then my last win condition being Throw also got credit. So nothing really went my way basically. I should have been able to win this game. I wouldn't say easily, but I should have been able to win this game 3 times at least. Unfortunately, 3 times in a row I was lucked out of the win. So unfortunately for me, I do not take the win. I am 2-2, 2 wins, 2 losses right now. I don't feel as bad because obviously I was salty like the first 15 minutes after this game because I should have won. But after that I felt that I couldn't blame myself because it's obviously the Hex that made me lose, and I cannot blame myself. Like versus Pierre, I was mad at myself because I just played so poorly. But in this game there's nothing to blame. I cannot blame my opponent because he obviously played to win, and unfortunately he needed Hex to do so, but he got it, so that's no discredit to him. But yeah, I don't think I can discredit myself either, so yeah. I don't feel as bad about this loss, but this puts me in a bad position because now I'm 2-2. And for me to reach player spots, I am now depending on other player to win or lose, basically. Next week there is the mid-season tournament. I will explain that a little bit more in the following video, which is where I will face my opponent for the mid-season tournament, being Bluesy, or the Edinburgh Knights. Don't know if you know him, but check him out, of course. But yeah, I will leave those rules and links and such in the description on that video next week somewhere. But the prize for winning the mid-season tournament will be an extra player spot, or a potential player spot, I must say. So that means that if we win, because it's a division versus division thing, if we win that tournament, there are 3 people that are going into potential player spots from our division. Meaning that, what does I want to say? Meaning that I can potentially get 3rd and still be able to get the victory over all the others in the playoffs, if I just get like the 3 win streak, of course, in that playoff series. But yeah, so there is a good chance of me being able to reach playoffs and not depending on different people to lose or win if we win the following mid-season tournament, which is next week. Yeah, if we lose that tournament and I do somehow end up being 2nd, then I will still have to play for my playoff spot, because technically we lose that playoff spot, at least. Not lose, because it's just another round before entering the playoff spot between the 3rd place of the winning division versus the 2nd place of the losing division. So a little bit tricky. Hopefully we are able to win, because I do want to face Pierre again in the playoffs, because I do want to redeem myself versus him. But yeah, we will see how everything goes next week and in the weeks after, in the weeks following. For now, if you did enjoy this instruction, then please leave a like, because that's always appreciated. And also leave a comment in the comment section below if you think this loss was justified, if you think this loss was my fault somehow, or if you think that I should have won this game. Leave your comments in the description below, because I'm obviously very intrigued to read about him and to tell you wrong, unless you said that I should have won this game, of course. But yeah. Anyway, see you next week, I guess. Bye.